a specific strategy for internationalizing these small and medium enterprises?
Yes, there are some pillars, some core pillars that you can follow. Of course, every time is a new challenge, is a new company, is new products, but mostly you have to know the market you are going to approach, and you need to get information. We can provide this. You have to analyze a bit what kind of customers you want to reach, how do they work, who are their customers. You have to think about the routes, the channels, and the partners you are looking for. Also, getting some statistics and some numbers, it is a good idea. And you have to show your product and your value proposition in a proper way. And this strategy that you maybe use in Italy is not automatically going to work in Germany. So this is why we are there. We also provide the companies with some intercultural helping aspects which you normally neglect if you are sitting in Italy and you think I have always worked like that, so I can reproduce this model abroad, but this doesn't work.
You just mentioned, I think, one crucial element, which is the intercultural competences. Could you give us maybe an example of important things you have to take into account when introducing yourself into an international market? Maybe some mistakes you need to avoid, or
yes. Of course, my focus is on the German market, watching it from the German-Italian side. And first of all, don't do it alone if you're not sure that you're doing it properly and you are not skilled in the language. I'm not saying you have to know German. It would be better if you can correspond in German and if you have presentation and internet page in German. But if you do it in English, do it properly. And don't assume that your successful business model can be replicated in a new market. Get the information. Don't go to an exhibition just to expose there and to be there. First of all, maybe you need to visit the exhibition in order to think, does it make sense that next year I'm coming and as an exhibitor if I don't have any commercial agent, any distributor, nobody knows the name of my company. So start thinking about also your marketing plans. Some companies come and they try and they do cold approach to a number of German companies. They call and they send an email to the info at email address, and they then complain that they never get any answer and they don't have the chance to get in touch with the company. If you call a company and you are talking to the person who's sitting in the telephone office, you are not talking to the right person. And if you are doing this in a not quite good English and the person on the other side is also not quite good in English, then it's not going to work. So if you approach this market, do it properly and do it constantly. And if you got a no the first time, don't stop. Get some good people, some good sellers that speak German and they can work for you. And don't stop at the first no. Sometimes it is also very important not just to do that on the phone. Provide information, fact sheets, data, much more details about your products and your services in order that the German side can register that you are doing it seriously and you have something which is very useful for them or interesting. Most of the Italian companies think that they just should call and invite maybe the potential customer to visit their company and the rest will be settled. No, the other side needs at first to have a lot of details, a lot of information about the products and the company, and then afterwards, after this first process, then they can start thinking, to come over and watch the company and meet you personally. But if the Italian needs to speak, the German needs to read. So you need to provide information and facts that can be read and proved. And then you can start working on this. This is one of the most common problems that we have to face. The Italian says we talk on the exhibition fair, and then we never got a call back. And the German side said, yes, we talked, and we never got an email, and we never got the details. So that's why we are sitting here as a chamber, as the Italian-German Chamber of Commerce, in order to minimize these differences and bring together two businesses.